football is back. The Premier League is back. Mikel Arteta will be kicking off against Frank Lampard. So on this channel, we've decided to give our predictions on what we think is going to happen next season. But I would have given my predictions. I would have said something, but my guests have decided to say, hold up, I'm a step aside. To this time around, we're taking over the channel and we are going to be giving our own predictions. So I want you to enjoy my guests. I know you guys are going to enjoy them. So just enjoy them, relax, enjoy the show. So, and don't forget to don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video. So guys, just enjoy the video, enjoy my guests. They've taken over the channel. I won't say anything apart from this. So just enjoy the show.
All right, today I'll be walking you through my 2026-2027 Premier League predictions. We'll start with the easy one. Who do I think is going to win the Premier League? I genuinely think Arsenal retain the league this year for a couple of reasons. I think we are the most stable club in terms of the managers amongst the big six. Hopefully there's no shocker like 2016 with Leicester City this season, right? But a few people I'm wary of, Manchester United for a fact, Chelsea. Those two teams, I feel like they have something up their sleeve, but I do think we would retain the title.
The team to win the EPL title this year, frankly, I think Arsenal takes it simply because every other top team are in a transitional phase, be it managerial-wise or player and personnel-wise. Man City just sold, Pep just left Man City, and Maresca, if it's going by the evidence of what we saw in the Community Shield, it might be a while for him to get things in order. And seeing as some big names like Rodri, Stones and the likes, and Bernardo have moved on, it might be a hill for him to climb, and he has big shoes to fill. So I think the only person that can probably step up to him presently might be Michael Carrick at Manchester United, because he has had some balance over time, and with some new personnel in there, he might give him a run. But, well, we shall see what happens. But my pick for the EPL title, Arsenal.
My EPL team for the season, or would I say the team I think will win the EPL for the season, for me, is Arsenal Football Club. My reason is maybe what most of you consider cliche. Obviously, they are the reigning champions and they've done a very good addition in the middle of the park. They have not lost their core in Odegaard, the central backs, the goalkeepers. And as much as we know that Gyökeres probably don't score important goals, but we know that they've got a lot of goals in the middle of the park from Kai Havertz, Berechese, Odegaard, and the rest of them. I understand also the PEC's discussions around the wingers, probably like Saka, have been out of form. Madueke obviously is not a reliable one. Martinelli, we know is in that guy again, and then obviously the new signing guy who obviously used to be with Norwich, but then was relegated, but then he's gone on to have a couple of good years in football. So for me, Arsenal, I'm tipping Arsenal, to be honest, to retain the title.
All right, guys, good morning. It's your favorite football pundit, analyst, Emakunian Caesar, and I'm here live on Fansview TV because of the new Premier League season. So I have some quick questions I just want to answer from Fansview TV, and I'll be answering them one after the other. So first one on my list is, who will win the Premier League title? As a Maconian fan, I have to be very honest. I think Arsenal is well positioned to win the Premier League season back to back. I hope they don't do so, but to me, the statistics proves it. They will win the Premier League season.
Who will win the Premier League title? For me, this is it's a bit open for now. So I think let's give it to Arsenal. As much as I hate to admit it, but we'll give it to Arsenal.
Alright, I'm putting my 2026-2027 Premier League predictions on record. Champions, Arsenal, back to back. I think this Arsenal side has unfinished business in Europe, but domestically, they're still the team to beat.
Hi, I'm Terence, and these are my predictions for the 2026-27 Premier League season. To win the league, I have Arsenal. They won the league last season. They've made improvements. I believe they're still going to be busy in the transfer window up until the end of this month. So yeah, I believe they'll go back to back.
All right, so here's my predictions for the 2026-2027 EPL season. Uh, the favorites to win the EPL season would be Chelsea. It has to be Chelsea. Okay, because of the changes they've made and who is at the helm of affairs, which is Alonso.
Christoph Solis, £34 million in this market is serious value. Trossard is gone. The left wing is basically his to lose. And after he started at Arsenal, I think he's really going to cook.
Signing of the season. My signing of the season so far, I am torn between Christozolis for Arsenal and Yuri Tillemans for Manchester United. Tillemans add an extra bit of midfield layer and it brings something special, but they might have to make up for his deficiencies also in midfield. He has that elite quality to bring in, but he also has some deficiencies. So it's all about maximizing his strengths and minimizing his weaknesses. Christozolis, as evidenced by the preseason game and even the Community Shield, he's such an exciting player to watch. He's an output merchant and he brings something to the table, and it makes the Trossard sell-off not really feel like that much of a loss for Arsenal.
My signing for the season, to be honest, it has to be the Manchester United steal or Yuri Tillemans, Aston Villa to Manchester United. For me is, to be honest, I was blown away. As a Manchester United fan, when I heard the news, I literally was at work and then a mate of mine went I was like, yo, you can't be serious. Because I know a lot of Manchester United fans have been crying for Yuri right from the days of his days rather in Leicester City, and now to be living a dream, which not just a dream for Yuri, but then a dream for, I want to believe, a very, very, very large following of Manchester United fans. So Yuri is going to bring a lot of things, experience, maturity. He's a leader in his own. He's been a leader right from his teenage days. Let's not forget whom he used to be. He was termed, a wonder kid when he was up and coming, and he's been how many years? 7, 8 years now in the Prem, over 350 games across two different teams in Aston Villa and Leicester City. Is coming with a wealth of experience. Captain Belgium in the World Cup. So Yuri for me is the biggest deal. Also at 35 million quid in our market today. For me, that's the no-brainer.
And the sign of the season so far to me is Bruno Guimaraes to Arsenal. That was a McHugh signing. That was a very fantastic signing. In short, he just solved half of their problems in the midfield.
The signing of the season so far. For now, I would say 2 months. That's from Aston Villa to Manchester United. It was actually one of those deals that really, surprised everyone.
Second question, who is your signing of the season so far? Well, I don't know. We've barely seen anyone play football. But a few signs, I think Bruno Guimaraes is going to be up there. I'm trying to be unbiased as possible. I have no idea the business that other teams have done. Who else? I don't think Tillemans will do such a great job. Morgan Rogers maybe. But yeah, at the moment, Bruno G.
Season, Bruno Guimaraes. He was one of the best midfielders in the Premier League up until this season, and now he's joining a team that arguably had a top 2 midfield last season, so I believe he's going to have a huge impact in them going back to back, and I see him being signing of the season.
Signing of the year so far has to be Rogers. Looking at his antecedents and the build-up so far, it has to be Rogers for me. Not just because I'm a Chelsea fan, but because of everything that's happened and transpired so far.
Moving on, highest goal scorer, need I say it? Just one name, Erling Braut Haaland. That's it. Case closed.
Scorer for the season, none other than Haaland, but there could be any changes.
Premier League highest goal scorer of the season. I will be rooting 2 players, really tricky one. Haaland and Benjamin Sesko. Yeah, Benjamin Sesko. It's crazy, to be honest, but for me, it's a tricky one. So I have, right inside of me, the little boy inside of me is saying Manchester United, a striker for Manchester United. I'm not talking Zaxi this time around. What's it called again? The tall lad. So him and Haaland, to be honest. But then I'm rooting for Haaland. I'm rooting for Haaland to above Benjamin Sesko. So it's Haaland, Benjamin Sesko for me. But obviously because Haaland has done it now, I think 3 seasons going, and then so I give it up to Haaland. But I think Benjamin Sesko, something inside of me, the little boy inside of me is telling me this is Benjamin's season.
Scorer Erling Haaland, he always is, right? I don't think any other, but I think João Pedro will give him a run for his money. Out of context, João Pedro, not Haaland, right?
Top scorer, it has to be Haaland. I mean, he just won the Golden Boot in 27 and backing him to do it again.
What else he said is, who is the highest goal scorer? This is very tricky. For now, I don't see attackers that will be firing up and down. I think midfielders will have more goals than attackers. But then, if midfielders are scoring, you can't be consistent scoring 10, 12 to 15 goals. So I think Haaland has always been a standout and he knows how to rack up the goals. I might somehow still give it to him. That's if he doesn't leave during the January transfer. So Haaland probably, or somebody, or maybe someone in Arsenal. But I give it to Haaland.
Goal scorer, it is really hard to look past Erling Haaland. He has done it for about 3 years in a row now. So yeah, Erling Haaland will be my top scorer.
I'm rooting for João Pedro. Normally, it should be a no-brainer for Erling Haaland, but because of the absence of Pep at Man City, the exit of Pep from Man City, it's going to be quite difficult. I don't see Maresca doing the job or bringing Haaland to that place where he would normally be.
First manager sacked, Matthias Jaisler at Newcastle. I mean, the expectations at Newcastle are now massive, and after finishing 12th last season, I don't think the new regime will get much patience if the results aren't immediate.
Managerial casualty, I will go with... I'm torn between Enzo Maresca from Manchester City and the person that replaced Iraola at Bournemouth. I'm sorry, I failed to get the name, but that person has a tighter job than Maresca. We'll see in the season. So the manager at Bournemouth, I'm picking that as my first managerial casualty. He has big shoes to fill there.
First managerial casualty. Wow, this is a very tricky one, to be honest. We've got quite a lot of teams. If I have new managers on board, like Chelsea, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, I'm thinking Newcastle also. So for me, I think the first managerial casualty of the season has to be between Pierre Sage of Palace and then Bournemouth, Marco Rose of Bournemouth. I don't know, but I'm leaning towards Pierre Sage of Crystal Palace being the first managerial casualty of the season. Pierre Sage of Crystal Palace. Yeah, I'm going for Pierre Sage of Crystal Palace.
A managerial casualty. The first person to be sacked, I would say Enzo Maresca coaching Manchester City, but you never can tell. We'll give it to Newcastle's new coach for now, but my pick is Enzo Maresca of Manchester City.
Who's going to be the first managerial casualty? I will go for the top big clubs. I will leave the smaller clubs for other people to analyze. For the top big clubs, I think it should be between Enzo Maresca and Roberto De Zerbi of Tottenham. One of them is going to have casualties. I think it's going to be hard to adjust to the high stakes of the football, especially for Man City. But probably Tottenham hasn't yet clicked based on what I watched in preseason. So I don't know. One of them is going to be either Enzo or Roberto De Zerbi.
Who is going to be the first manager casualty? Who's getting the sack first? Enzo Maresca? Yeah, that's just on a lighter note. I don't know. Probably one of these mid-table teams. Who is the new Palace manager? Maybe he gets the sack. I don't know. Yeah.
Manager to get the sack, I think it might be Oliver Glasner, because you've seen how Nottingham Forest's owner is pretty trigger happy with firing managers. That's Marinakis. So he might get the boot if they have a poor run of form early in the season. But apart from Glasner, maybe Frank Lampard, because they have a pretty shaky opening to the season.
Which promoted team will survive this season? None. Zero. I think all of them are going down the same way they came up. So, yep.
Which promoted team will survive this season? I'm racking it up for Coventry. Coventry will survive. I think they really had a very good season last season, so I feel they will survive.
Promoted team to survive, I'm going with Frank Lampard's Coventry City. It's Lampard. He has been good. His managerial career has been good so far, barring the last season at Chelsea. Let's forget that one happened. But I see him doing something good at Coventry City. They might do just enough to survive. They just bought Taiwo Awoniyi from Nottingham Forest, so it's an exciting season to watch out for.
I believe Coventry will stay up. Lampard keeps them up.
I see Coventry actually, surviving the Premier League.
What promoted team might survive? I would say Ipswich, because they made a lot of signings, and you can see how that translates to Premier League quality. Because look at Sunderland last season, they made a lot of signings, and the other signings helped them not just stay up, but I think they qualified for Europe last season. So that's incredible, honestly.
To survive the EPL season will be Hull City. Like I said, I'm always very keen on antecedents and how they came in. It looks like it looks very unlikely, but I foresee Hull City leaving and Hull City staying in the EPL season, surviving the EPL season against other teams like Coventry and Ipswich.
Says who will be the player of the season? Player of the season for me, I think Bruno is going for it again. To be honest, I don't know. Butterflies in my belly. I am rooting for Manchester. I'm so confident Manchester United is going to have a very wonderful season in the Premier League. But then in the Champions League, I'm expecting them to probably, around of 32-ish or later than that. But round of 32, round of 16 for me is it will be a win for me as far as Champions League is concerned for them. But Premier League player of the season, I am going for Bruno again. I think Bruno is going to have a wonderful season again because obviously of the presence of Yuri Tillemans, who's sort of going to relieve him of certain jobs, having to track back and all that kind of stuff. So he's going to focus on, doing the damage for Manchester United within the final third of the pitch. So I'm rooting really for Bruno Fernandes.
Player of the season. Fingers crossed, I am going with Martin Odegaard. Don't ask me why. Barring injuries, a fit Odegaard would be exciting to watch in the Premier League this season. And I'm hoping it stays that way. So, yeah, player of the season. That's my pick. Fingers crossed.
Then player of the season, Declan Rice. English stacks, champion stacks. I think Arsenal is going to win the trophy. Consistency. And after missing out last year, I'm giving him the pity vote.
Who will be the player of the season? This is hard to pick, but if it's not coming from Arsenal, it's going to come from Manchester United. I feel Manchester United is going to have a player who is going to stand out. So I'm giving it up for probably Saka of Arsenal or somewhere around maybe Mbuemo or in Manchester United. I think they are really going to play a crucial role this season. So one of them is going to have that award.
I'll stick with Bruno for now. Yes, I'll stick with Bruno. Because he had an amazing performance last season. So I don't see why I should expect any less from him this season. In fact, I'm expecting much from him this season.
Hold down. Who will be the player of the season? The guys that know me know that I'm not a fan of this player, but I'm giving a huge shout. I've bought my stocks. Martin Odegaard, 2026-2027 player of the season.
Of the year, with the way he has been playing and with the, if he can stay fit this season, Martin Odegaard might have something to prove this season. So maybe he is my shout for player of the year.
Of the season, of course, João Pedro. It should be Rogers. With all I'm seeing so far from the preseason, but João Pedro it is from his antecedents at the preseason games.
Top 5 Premier Leagues of the teams of the season. Prediction: Arsenal first, Manchester United second. To be honest, Chelsea has to be third, and Liverpool, Chelsea third. Then third position. To be honest, I'm caught up between Aston Villa and Liverpool.
Top 5, I am going in this order: Arsenal, followed closely by Manchester United, then Liverpool, then Manchester City, and lastly Chelsea. Chelsea, they have the star power to pull them through, but they have still not gelled as a team. Well, the new signings might do so much for them, but it remains to be seen. So again, Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Chelsea. And relegation candidates, I'm going on the 18th with Everton, 19th with Hull City, and 20th with Ipswich Town. So those are my picks for the season. Thank you, and let's go get our hearts broken again.
Arsenal, City, United, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Relegated: Hull, Ipswich, and Tottenham.
Who will be the player? Okay, mention your top 5 and your relegation candidates. This is really hard. Relegation candidates. I think Ipswich will have to go back. Somehow, I think Ipswich will go back. I don't also see Sunderland surviving. It's going to be hard for them. Who else? I'm thinking. Hull City might have to go back. Hull Cities and that team I feel will have to go back. That's 3. It's also going to be hard for people like maybe Leeds, and then Leeds United, and then probably somewhere around. It's very hard. I don't know. Somewhere around Everton or Fulham, one of them. Somewhere around Everton or Fulham. Those are my, I don't know. Okay, yeah. To me, those are the ones that will be in contention for relegation. But for the last 3, I think Ipswich, Hull City, and probably Leeds. Those are the 3 that I'm looking at to go back. Or Sunderland, sorry. Go back to the championship. While for the top 5, we have Arsenal, we have Manchester United, we have Chelsea, we have Man City, and then we have Aston Villa. Let me use Aston Villa. Yeah, those are the top 5 I feel will survive for the Premier League this season. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Peace out. Bye.
My top 5 for this season should be Arsenal, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Yeah, just then my relegation candidates. I would go with Coventry, City, Hull City, and I would go with Leeds, Hull City, and Ipswich. Yeah, I think.
Has to be Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Manchester United. Yeah, the top 5. Yeah, and of course, the teams to be relegated will be Ipswich Town, Coventry, and most likely not to be ruled out, Bournemouth. Yeah, so that to be that for me. If it's not going to be Bournemouth, perhaps Leeds United. Yeah.
Top 5, I would say Arsenal, Liverpool, or City. I'm not too sure, but Iraola is a good coach and I can't put it past him. So Arsenal, Liverpool, City, United, and Chelsea are my top 5 in that order. And relegation, I feel like Coventry and Hull are going down. The last team is anybody's guess really, but it might be Ipswich. I feel like they have enough to stay in, but it's the safe choice. So the teams that came up might go down, likely. So yeah, these are my predictions for the season.
Mention your top 5 and top 5 relegation candidates. I don't even know. My 3 relegation candidates are the teams that came up. I don't even know. Hull, Ipswich, Coventry. I think 3 of them go down. So yeah, my top 5 without context: United, Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal. Those 5. Or the big 6 aside Spurs. But in order, I think Liverpool finished 5th. City 4th. Wow, I know. 3rd Chelsea, 2nd United, 1st Arsenal. So that's it for my 2026-2027 predictions. See you guys in our next video.